Quick, short and sweet introduction. Let me throw this question to you as members or entrepreneurs. What is the single most challenging issue that you have faced in your business? Let me ask some of the affluent members. Amulan. Pardon? Fine sales. And another affluent member, Usam. What is the challenge that you have faced in your business in running in a sustainable manner?
Delegation and systems.
Thank you. You see, it varies from person to person. Some might have cash flow challenges. Some might have challenges of their business model. So this is the challenge. This is the beauty of trying to gather everything together. We are living in a day and age that we are going through volatile, uncertain, challenging or complex and also ambiguous world. So in this, how do you navigate your business? Because that is the most important thing that we need to be mindful. Gone are the days where you survive for the day, right? Short-term thinking. That's how to make it. That's why it's important that you be agile, adept, and adaptable if you want to succeed, navigate these two. To put things into perspective, we all know that SMEs are the engine of growth, the heartbeat of a nation's economy, right? But having said that, there is always challenges that it associates. Now, obviously, there will be macro and micro factors involved. Macro, we will talk another day because that's a whole huge space. So let's look at some of the micro challenges that are faced. I like to categorize these challenges into 4 core areas, which is working capital management. I'm sure all of you, I will bet you each one of you must be having a working capital challenge in some form or shape. Then you have the sustainable profits. All of us are surviving for sustainability of the profits, right? Then thirdly, the digitization of the functions and digitalization of the processes, which we are way back, right? Then finally, it's important that we look ahead, look for the future, than just be satisfied with what you're doing today. So, putting all these 4 together, let me share one of my experiences of having dealt with a client. Now, this client is in the fashion business, right? When you say fashion business, what comes to your mind? It's very dynamic. You have to be on the ball all the time. So this particular company has been in business for about 2+ decades. But over the last 5 to 6 years, they have gone off track. Why? Working capital is the most important thing for them. So what they started doing is borrowing to fund working capital requirements. And that's a deadly combination. Trust me, if you don't keep looking at close proximity, you can lose your shirt. So that's why it's important to understand and act fast. So this company has been writing up. You see, you don't become bankrupt overnight. It takes about 3 to 4 years. And early warning signs keep flashing. So if you don't deal with that on the spot, then you are asking for trouble. And then as you go along, you need to have the right people on board. So to cut short a long story, the lessons that we learn from this is the fact that you need to make sure that you are on track in terms of holding or controlling the debt stock, because this particular company's debt stock was equal to their annual turnover. So just imagine how can they run? They are basically spending their profits for servicing the debt, right? Secondly, they didn't have the right people on board. Then thirdly, they were digitizing some of the functions. You have to have a holistic approach. If not, you will miss the bus. And finally, of course, forecast. Forecasting is not just scratching the surface. You have to go deep dive and only then you can at least get closer to this in a dynamic industry like fashion. So that's in a nutshell. Of course, there are so many stories that we have. Success story in terms of environmental and climate friendly business models which I was involved with. So that is for another day that we can talk about. Now, how do you manage or circumvent these challenges that you're facing? You see, when you're in the survival mode, right, the first thing that you should do is generate cash. Nothing but cash, right? Sacrifice a little bit of the profits for the sake of cash. That's the nerve center of surviving in business. Then when you get to a stability stage, that's the time that you need to start building your, strengthening your legs and arms and also the base. So once that is done, then, and you are ready to take off, then always be mindful that not to get into the trap that put you in survival mode. So effectively, what you need to do is 5 to 10% of your cash set aside for a sinking fund, so that on a rainy day, like COVID comes, only a handful of people would afford to be on board, right? So, and the other one, always think ahead. So set aside 5 to 10% of your profits for research and development. That's the name of the game. It's not to miss the mark. Thirdly, make sure your debt is not ideally around 25%, but not more than 40%. If it's above 40%, be ready to lose your shirt, right? So just stick to the basics. Don't do anything silly. Just stick to the basics, and you're on track. Now, these are some of my services that I offer. Recently, I got into family business coaching, so that's also in my armory. And what I do is I offer this on a pay for performance, on success basis. If I deliver, you pay me. So that's something that is so unique, right? Then also I have the ability to dissect business and financial aspects and come up with practical and transparent solutions which are achievable, right? Thirdly, any industry, any like shipping or construction or your destination or whatever, I go through that industry, do a thorough research before I come out and come up with solutions. So this is my offering. Now this is an example of how you will succeed when you get professional help. Of course, when you are struggling, you won't get. You are just setting up the platform, right, and strengthening the legs. Now, when you go ahead and do well, that's the time that the benefit starts to kick in. Now, I like to leave you with these golden rules, which I call it as 5 C's. Always be consistent, be predictable. Then comply with your rules and regulations. Don't ever, do shortcuts. There is no shortcuts to success. Thirdly, reduce complexity. Stick to the basics. Don't do anything silly. Focus on this and get it right. Then fourthly, cash, cash, cash. All the time cash. You sleep, drink, and also walk with cash. Nothing but cash. That's the one that will keep you going. And then commit yourself to value creation. That's what your stakeholders ask you for, right? Now, these are some of my gifts. I can connect you all with this list of clients. And of course, I need your help to connect me to these customers which are on your right side. You see now, this 7 or 8 minutes, we'll have more questions for you than answers. So I'm more than happy to invite all of you for my workshop which I'm planning in January or February. So there will be more prominence on the Q&A, which you can, I'm sure, a lot of questions in your head. So answering those questions is what keeps me happy and it gives you the satisfaction. So if you want to go through a bit more of what I have to offer, please scan this QR code and you can get more information. Thank you very much.